Hey, what is going on, guys? I am Rahul, and today for you I've got 5 tips for the Conquest mode on Battlefield 4. Conquest mode, I think we've seen it in pretty much all the Battlefield, so it's really glad to see it back in Battlefield 4. And it is the game mode that I think does make Battlefield, because without Conquest I don't think Battlefield would be the same. So it's just a really awesome game mode and I love playing it. Now my first tip for you guys, like in the Rush tips, is about the tickets. Now the tickets isn't exactly the same as it is in Rush, so when you do die or respawn, it kind of affects the tickets but not as much. The main thing that affects the tickets is the flags. So when when enemies do have flags, it bleeds your tickets, and bleeds means that your tickets go down. So the more flags they have, the quicker yours will go down, and the more flags you have, the quicker theirs will go down. So you just got to keep that in mind. If you've got all the flags, basically yours won't go down apart from getting killed and stuff. So the killing thing, I don't exactly know how it works. I'm guessing it's depending on how many flags you have, that amount of kills. So say you got 3 flags, you got to have 3 respawns on your team for your tickets to go down by 1. So something weird like that, but mainly just keep in mind it's the flags that mainly affect the tickets. So just make sure you got the correct amount of flags to win the game. The next tip I've got for you guys is to know the vehicles. Now Conquest match is probably the match where there are going to be the most vehicles, because Conquest is the kind of game for vehicles. I mean, you've got always going to have like tanks, little MRAPs, then you got the little ATVs, jet skis, attack boats, attack choppers, jets, everything. It's just really fun, especially if you are playing on Conquest Large, which is like the large version of Conquest Small, and you'll get so many vehicles and stuff. It's just really fun to play, and just make sure you got the right vehicles for your right situation. So don't be going in like a little ATV into a massive like tank warfare fight. If you are on an ATV, it's basically a transport vehicle to just drive around the side and try and get in a nice position. Helicopters, make sure that if you are a pilot, don't jump out before all your teammates have, because that's just not nice. Unless they understand that you are jumping out, then I guess it's okay, but just make sure that whatever vehicle you are playing, you understand how to play it. Maybe go in the test range, just try them out a little bit so you understand, and then you'll be pretty good on the battlefield. My third tip for you guys is to know how to like run the flags. Now when you are using the flags and stuff, when you capture the flags, they do bleed the enemy's tickets. So if you do have more than half the amount of flags, you're in a good situation. So always try and make sure that you've got more than half the flags, because you will be overall winning the game, because with the more flags you've got, you're gonna bleed the tickets bleed their tickets faster than they'll bleed yours. So above half, it's kind of self-explanatory that theirs will go down quicker than yours. So yeah, it's the way to win. My fourth tip for you guys is about the commander. Now Conquest is the mode for the commander. I mean, commander can go into the other game modes, but Conquest is the single game mode that the commander should be playing, because when you are playing Conquest, there's so many different kind of assets you do have as a commander. So it's really great. Now the assets you get are dependent on the flags. Well, most of them you do get that UAV and the EMP and the proxy thing. You can get a few without having flags, but the main ones like the cruise missile, the gunship, the infantry scan, the vehicle scan, ones like that, they do need the actual flags to be taken. Now the main one, which will be a cruise missile or the gunship, for the main one for the map, will be normally located on the middle flag. So for instance, Siege of Shanghai, that's the B flag if you're playing Conquest Small, C flag if you're playing Conquest Large. Just make sure that you do have the main middle flag if you are playing with a commander, because then they'll have the good assets and they'll help you win the game. And alternatively, you can still try and capture all the other flags, because they will still provide help for your commander. Like an infantry scan, you'll just know where all the other enemy infantry are, so it'll be easier for you to take them out. My final tip for you guys is cover. Now in Conquest mode, you normally do find lots of snipers, lots of people with LMGs, lots of people with just weapons in general. Well, I suppose they would do, but you got to try and find cover, because most of the time, if you're running out in the open, there'll be a sniper trained on your position, and he'll just be taking you out like left, right and center, because there's always going to be someone just watching you somewhere. I mean, there might be like 500 meters away, they'll still try and take you out. I don't know why, but it does happen. So just make sure you're moving from cover to cover. Kind of a simple Battlefield rule, but it is quite apparent in the game. If you are used to Call of Duty and stuff, you're probably used to just rushing about everywhere. In Battlefield, you can do that, but you're going to die more times than you're not. So just make sure you're going cover to cover with teammates and stuff to make it a little bit more easier, and then you won't be dying as much, and you'll probably win the game in the end. Now that is about it for the 5 Conquest tips. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. I might be doing an obliteration kind of one of these later on. I don't know if I'm going to be carrying these on until I get my PC, because right now Battlefield 4 my PS3 is really boring and it isn't really working well. So I'm just going to wait till I get my PC, then I'll carry on this series. My other series will still carry on, but if you guys do really want to see this series, then just tell me and I'll carry it on to make sure I get the videos out. Anyway guys, I've been Rahul. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and I guess I'll catch you on the battlefield.